A robot dog is walking through a dead city with a strange robot friend that follows him. That is the first thing you see in the Rusted, one of the hidden games I'll talk about in this video. Welcome back to one of my favorite series on this channel, the one where I go digging for hidden games, games that do not have a big audience yet, but that could change any day. Some of these have real solid foundations under them, so who knows what happens in 1 or 2 months or in 1 or 2 years. And honestly, some of them surprised me because they have something different. So this is a 2D puzzle platformer, and the developers say it is fully hand-drawn. I like that a lot. You can tell immediately the backgrounds have this texture to them that you do not get from clean vector art. The inspiration here is obvious if you have played Hollow Knight or really any other Metroidvania of that style. There is a restore life mechanic that genuinely made me think of Hollow Knight's healing system the second I saw it. But the difficulty is nowhere near as brutal. This is a game you can play without your jaw clenching the whole time. Which, look, I love Hollow Knight, but not every game needs to make me want to throw my controller away. The story has this quiet emotional pull to it, and the main character is a dog. A robot dog, to be specific. The last loyal one left after humanity is gone, and it is looking for its lost human family. There is also a robot companion that I genuinely do not know how to categorize. Some kind of friend, some kind of guide, I'm still not sure. If you asked me to describe my personal favorite type of platformer, this would basically be it. Now, let me get into something that is going to sound small, but actually is not. Making a dog the main character creates a real technical problem. When you build a platformer, your character has a collision box. And for most games, that box is taller than it is wide, because most characters stand up. A dog is wider than it is tall, and that messes with how the character interacts with platform edges. You get these tiny hitches when the dog brushes the corner of a ledge, and it reads as slightly wrong, slightly off, even though nothing is actually broken. It is just that our brains are tuned to expect upright collision boxes. I would have made the dog smaller, closer to a square shape. It would have smoothed out those edge cases. But here is the thing. The controls themselves are excellent. Tight, responsive, no input lag that I could feel. So even with that one weird wrinkle, this is genuinely a pleasant game to play. I do not know when this is coming out. I do not know if Rod Games, the studio behind it, has a release window locked yet. What I do know is that the bones here are good enough that I will be checking back on this one. This one beat my expectations by a wide margin, and I want to be clear about why, because the genre itself is kind of a mess right now. Steam is absolutely flooded with this style of roguelite. A lot of that flood traces back to Brotato, the potato survival game that blew up a few years ago with its auto-firing weapons and short chaotic. Brotato is great, by the way, but it opened a door, and now there are 100 games trying to walk through it, and most of them just feel like Brotato with a different skin. S.C.A.D is the same general genre, but somehow even more chaos. There is a point in every run where you realize you are causing an absolute massacre. Hundreds of enemies just gone, and you cannot stop. You don't even want to stop. The game will not let you stop. It is isometric pixel art, post-apocalyptic, and you are piloting a hovercraft through zombie-infested wasteland. The developer is a studio called Naisu, and it launches into early access on May 28, 2026. If you are into this genre, even a little, go look at it. I think it earns the attention. I do wonder how they balance this long term, because games like this live or die on whether the power curve stays fun for 50 hours or just the first 5. That's something I cannot answer yet. Early access means we will find out together. This next one is a nightmare to build, and I mean that with total respect. automation systems are brutal to get right. Everything has to talk to everything else. Ships have to route correctly. Cargo has to flow without breaking. And if one piece is off, the whole simulation feels fake. From what I saw, the team behind this nailed it. When I try a genre that is outside my comfort zone, I lean hard on first impressions, because that initial reaction tells me whether the core loop has any hooks in it at all. And this one hooked me almost immediately. BERING Tonnage is a shipping simulator built by two brothers. You start with one region and one tiny shipping company, and you grow it into something that spans the planet. Every port is based on real-world data. 295 ports, 86,730 possible routes between them. Remember when I said this kind of game is a total nightmare to build? So yes, this game takes a lot of time to make, and as the developers say, it will take thousands of hours to play. And wait, there's also a disaster layer: tropical storms, earthquakes, worker strikes, ice-blocked ports, political blockades, war. Your knowledge of actual geography starts to matter. You will think differently about some places once typhoon season hits your supply chain. The demo went live on June 9. Go try it. Last one, and this is a 2D retro platformer with maybe the cleanest difficulty curve of anything on this list today. You can tell right away the developer wants to push this thing to its absolute limit. The visuals lean hard into old school inspiration, and so does the moment-to-moment gameplay, pixel art, fast combat, that Castlevania kind of structure. But the twist is the blood mechanic. Your blood drains constantly, and if it hits zero, you die. So you are never allowed to slow down. You are always moving, always a little bit panicked, and that pressure is what makes the whole thing click. The game is made by a solo developer named Eric Lacroix, and it launches on Steam June 29, priced at $3.99. 3 levels, ranked performance, and if you hit the S rank, you unlock Extreme Mode, which the developer describes as the actual original vision of the game before it got toned down for the base difficulty. In Extreme Mode, the blood drains faster, the platforming gets meaner, new enemies show up that were not there before. It deserves a chance. So, that is 4 games, different genres, completely different teams, but all of them had that thing I keep looking for in this series. Somebody who clearly cared more about getting one system right than about shipping fast. Let me know in the comments which of these you are going to try first, or if you have stumbled onto something hidden that you think deserves a spot on this list next time. Thanks for watching.